I'm going to be giving you all an energy update for the week based on the astrology and human design and what's going on in the cosmos. Welcome, Sheila. Hi, Chad. Welcome. Ping in your friends, ping in anyone you feel like would be interested in hearing this information. Alright, I'm now in Ping Joe. Welcome, Tammy. Welcome, Vanessa. Welcome, everyone. So the first thing of this week that popped out at me when I was studying the transits for this week is that right now the moon is in Sagittarius on the south node, which really calls for emotional releasing, especially if you have a lot of planets or any planets really in your chart in Sagittarius. This is going to affect you and really call for you to release any emotions you have that maybe are affecting your destiny or keeping you stuck in past patterns or belief systems that don't serve you. And through really looking at these emotions and releasing them, you will be gaining a sense of heightened intuition. You will feel more clear and birthing creative processes and really seeing pain as your purpose. This transit also calls for us to really look outside of ourselves, to learn from our experiences and learn from the experiences that shape us, and to really ask ourselves, like, what does it take for us to have belief in ourselves and to change our belief systems and the patternings that we've been conditioned to over time. We also have a T-square in the sky right now that is between Mercury and the nodes, so it's affecting this transit as well with the south node and the moon in Sagittarius. And a T-square it's kind of like when you pull a rubber band back, to give, like, before you release it, to give you like a human example of my life. It was like right before I started this room, I was a little nervous, a little like there's like tension building up. And the release of a T-square causes friction, it causes tension, it causes a buildup of energies, and the release of the T-square, in this particular T-square in the sky right now, is in the sign of Pisces, which rules our creativity and really rules being able to look at our emotions and feel our emotions fully and let them move through our body instead of grappling on or holding on to them, really allowing them to move through us like water, and really using what we learn. And again, get back to the Sagittarius energy of using what we learn from our experiences to gain wisdom from that and really tie that into our creative process, and using that as our purpose and really seeing it from a bigger perspective of like, what does this have to teach me and how can I tie this into what I'm doing, and also be of service to others with this information and really use this to give back to others in a big way, and also awaken to my creativity and awaken to the projects or the creative things that are really calling me to give more attention to them at this time, but my maybe belief systems have been holding me back a little bit. So that's kind of like a big energy of this week and a big theme of this week. It's almost like this week is, like I said, like a rubber band, like before, like when you pull it back before it snaps. It's kind of that energy of like it being pulled back and like tension is building. And it will really release as we get into the weekend and get into this full moon in Aquarius that I'll touch on at the end. And I'll also be doing another room on the full moon in Aquarius because there's a lot going on with that I would love to share more in depth with you guys, because it's a lot more than I'll be able to cover in this room tonight. So look for that. If you don't have my alerts turned on, go to my profile and hit that little bell and hit always so you get notified when I'll be hosting that room, because I don't really like to schedule my rooms. As we move into the age of Aquarius, I feel we're all moving more into flow and really just doing what feels good in the moment and honoring the calling of our soul in the moment, that our soul feels called to do things. And so that's kind of the energy that I've been embodying and moving into for myself as well, especially as it relates to Clubhouse and how I'm handling things with my business and doing things on social media. So if you resonate with that, that's why we're moving into that age as a collective as we move into the age of Aquarius. So the sun is in Leo this week and it's moving into the later degrees of Leo. The last day of Leo season will be on Sunday, the 22nd, with the full moon in Aquarius. And Leo this week is, the sun in Leo this week is moving to oppose Jupiter, and it will be heightened on the full moon on Sunday. And in human design, this is moving through gate 4, which is really about learning to follow our joy. It's almost like, as I was thinking about what I was going to say tonight in this room and like kind of like giving you guys real life examples of these things, because it's really easy to like hear this information, but it can be challenging to know how to apply it to your life sometimes. So I wanted to give you guys real life examples. And I was driving home from the beach, and I saw this dog hanging its head out the window, just loving life. And I feel this, like, whenever you guys see whenever you see a dog like just like loving life, hanging its head out the window, this is kind of like the energy of this week. Is like, yes, there's a lot of tension, yes, there's a lot of buildup, but like, how can we embrace that joy, that just like bliss that we all have access to whenever we choose to, like the dog loving to hang its head out the window. It doesn't care that there may be like flies flying into its mouth or hair going into its eye. It's just stoked to like enjoy the wind and the sunshine out the window of the moving car. So that's kind of like the energy of this week, is like there's gonna be both, and how can we really like move through those waves of maybe like emotion or releasing a lot of past beliefs, and move through those with grace to come back to our joy, and to use that to come back to our bliss. And this gate 4 in human design, where the sun is this week, is also about, again, following our joy, like no matter what the external shows or what the external looks like. This gate is coming out of the Ajna, which is in your human design chart represents knowing and understanding and really like integrating that information. So how can we really take this on this week to really embody our joy and really like, you know, even though it might feel like there's a war between the wishes of the ego and our soul's purpose, like how can we acknowledge the wishes of the ego and still honor our soul's purpose and honor the joy that our soul really wants to awaken to, and the bliss that we all have access to as human beings. You get to decide which one you're feeding, the ego or the soul. And it's really about this week coming to terms with what your soul wants and really acting on that and embodying that. We also have Venus moving into Libra this week, which is going to be in gate 46 in human design, which will be in the G center. So this is about fully dedicating our energy towards what feels right. Again, just this major theme this week of really dedicating and putting our energy towards what feels good to our heart and soul, and how we can like also just do what feels good in every moment to really honor that and really honor what our intuition is telling us, even if it doesn't make sense to our mind or our logical brains. Like really honor like the little nudges or the intuitive like hits that you're getting, and taking action on those, and that will only strengthen your intuition and really strengthen your trust and your belief in your intuition and your innate guidance system. Venus and Libra can also kind of have a tendency to have us feeling like we need to make things beautiful and connect with others, and really, again, like Leo energy, similar to Leo energy, really like doing what feels good to us, doing what helps us to feel joyful. You know, if that means like throwing yourself a dance party, or like going and exploring a new place near you out in nature, or just like going to a coffee shop and meeting people, connecting with people, however much you can do that where you're at right now. And that's kind of what this transit is calling for us to do, is to have a balance with our needs and with our desires, and also with going out into the world and having fun and connecting with other people in the ways that we're able to right now. And back to the Sagittarius energy. Sagittarius rules the hips. This is something I forgot to mention a little earlier. So if you're feeling like, if you have a lot of Sagittarius energy in your chart, you might have tight hips, and you might feel that you struggle with having tight hips. And this is a really good time, since this transit is like highlighting this. It's a really good time, and I resonate with this myself because my moon's in Sagittarius. So I have always struggled with having tight hips my whole life. And what really helps me is yin yoga, and really holding long hip poses, and just like making a point to stretch out your hips as much as you possibly can, and really like having a consistent practice with that every day. So that's something that can help you navigate through this transit as well. I had a bit during my yoga session this morning, I had a bit of an emotional release, and this is just kind of like, and what happens when you do yin yoga and you really hold the poses is our hips store a lot of emotion and different parts of our body, depending on where you have you know, energy in your chart, what signs you have energy in your chart. Each sign rules a different part of the body, but we can really hold energy and hold emotions in these parts of our bodies. And it's not until we really like spend a lot of time in one position in yoga per se, that we can really allow these parts of our bodies to release whatever is stored there. And so if you're feeling tight in any part of your body, be it hips or elsewhere, really important to like dedicate time to stretching that out, to really release that tension and really release that tightness that you might be feeling there. And the transits of this week are just a perfect time to like really stay disciplined in that, and really commit to doing that for yourself and developing a practice around it. as we have Saturn and Aquarius right now. So really dedicating ourselves to what is going to help not only us feel better and release, but also the collective as well, and using that to inspire others. So back to this Venus and Libra transit. Venus and Libra will be moving on the 19th through gate 18, sorry. On the 19th, it will be moving into gate 18 in human design, which is coming out of our spleen center. So this is about cultivating what's important with a future vision in mind, and really correcting where our desires have misled us, maybe to vanity or maybe to things that don't really, again, kind of giving more weight to that ego in us than giving the weight that's needed to our soul and to our heart. So we'll really be seeing this week through everything that comes up, through the emotions that come up, through the external physical things that come up for you, how you can really dedicate more time and awareness and energy to honoring your soul and honoring the purpose that your heart has for you and that your heart wants to communicate to you. And really, you'll be becoming more aware of, and you'll have to let me know how this resonates with you as the week moves on. Feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. How you've been maybe giving more weight to your ego desires or fear, and I resonate with this because I have been scared to go live more on Clubhouse. I feel really comfortable on Instagram and going live on Instagram, and Clubhouse is a little bit scary for me because it's newer and I haven't hosted my own rooms as much. I've done a lot of rooms and collaborations with other people, but like hosting my own room in Clubhouse is a little bit out of my comfort zone. And so this is like a perfect example of the energy of this week, is like what is calling us to do. And I've been feeling called to host rooms on here by myself for weeks, and I just like have been scared, again, giving more weight to that ego fear than listening to my heart. And here I am acting on it finally. But yeah, that's kind of like an example of how this maybe could be playing out for you, is like, what is your soul calling for you to do? What is your heart and your intuition been telling you that you need to do, and you've maybe been a little bit scared or nervous to act on? This week is a perfect time to really act on it and really implement that and really create and commit to creating a consistent routine where you can like really embody this, and maybe throw yourself a dance party or do something to like really work out the nerves that come up around it and reframe it to get really excited, to think of it as being really fun, and that kind of Leo energy of really allowing yourself to have fun with it and find the joy in it, instead of seeing the flip side, which is like the negative, the fear, the anxiety, and really choosing to see the excitement and the joy instead over that. So on the 17th, which is, I believe, tomorrow, the sun will be moving into gate 29 in Leo, and this is in our sacral center. So again, just kind of amplifying everything I've been saying so far, really learning to, this gate is all about learning to persevere and keep going no matter the odds, no matter like the negative feelings that may come up associated to what we want to do. It's really us learning to take action, and that's what, again, a big theme of this week is taking action on what feels good and listening to that sacral response, especially if you are a sacral being in human design, either a generator or manifesting generator. You'll probably have you have a sacral response, and really learning to listen to that and listen to your intuition and listen to those hits and your inner authority, no matter if you're a generator or manifesting generator or not, listening to your inner authority, because this is your decision-making process. Your inner authority really gives you a way to know when to make decisions and to know when it's right for you to act on something. So really listening to that this week before making decisions, especially if you're an emotional authority. This is gonna be a week where you might be going through a lot of waves, and it might feel like a little bit of a roller coaster, especially with this transit today with the moon going over the south node and really asking us to release a lot of beliefs and a lot of past paradigms. It's really about like waiting for clarity before you make a decision, and making a decision from love, not one that's based on fear or scarcity or any type of lack, like that mentality. On the 18th, we'll have Mars and Mercury joining together, and this will really, this will be in gate 14 in human design, which is in the crown chakra. So this is all about resilience that builds strength. So really, again, about waiting for clarity before taking action, and also allowing like what action we're taking and allowing that to build strength, and to know that, yes, even if you're nervous, even if it's scary, you taking the inspired action is what is going to build resilience and is what is going to build trust in yourself and belief in yourself to be able to do the things that you want to do and might just feel a little bit nervous. It's kind of like riding a bike, like, or learning to walk. No one ever tells a toddler, like when they fall down, when they're learning to walk, like, you'll never never learned to walk. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, so have the same kind of grace with yourself of yes, I'm gonna get this. It's just gonna take a little bit of trial and error. It's gonna take me falling down a little bit, maybe tripping a little bit, before I fully learn to walk and fully feel comfortable doing this thing that I, you know, maybe feel kind of scared to start on. So that's kind of what, and you know, Mars and Mercury in Virgo is all about how can we be of service? How can we use our drive and our communication and our perception of things to really give back to the other? How can we use what we want to take action on? Mars rules our action and our drive, and Mercury rules our thinking, our communication, and our perception. How can we use those things to take conscious action to help the other, and to not only serve ourselves, but to serve everyone else that we are, you know, impacting by this decision. And even if what you're doing only helps you, or it only helps one person, like, it's still better than not doing it at all and giving more weight to fear and not knowing what it would look like if you took that action. So this is a really, I feel like I'm repeating myself at this point, but this week is just such a great time to take action on the desires of your heart and your soul, and this will lead to amazing opportunities and possibilities, especially as we move into this weekend with the full moon in Aquarius. This is like such a this full moon this weekend is a blue moon, because it is the second full moon of this year in the sign of Aquarius, and that's pretty rare in astrology. Like, not a lot of years, I'm tripping over my words here, what am I trying to say? It's not often that a full moon falls in the same sign twice in 1 year, and we have the second full moon in Aquarius this weekend. The last one was last month. So this is a really powerful time for manifestation, for really calling in your desires and really taking action towards the things that you want to do, and really allowing yourself to see clearly where you need to take. The path is always revealed to us. It's just whether or not we want to see it, and do we want to take action towards it, or do we want to give weight to our fear and give more weight to the things that we're scared of, versus really trusting and having that faith that things are going to work out, even if it doesn't make sense to our mental mind or our logical brain. So this Mars and Mercury conjunction that I'm talking about in gate 64 is also going to be calling for us to change our perception. And what about our perception needs conscious action? Confusion means that you're close to clarity. So if you're feeling confused about something, or you're feeling not sure about something that you want to take action on, just wait a little bit. You know, nurture yourself, give some time to yourself to like really take care of yourself and become clear. Clarity comes with time, especially if you're an emotional authority in human design. It's so important and crucial for you, or if you're a reflector, to really wait for clarity to come to you, and it will come with time. And it's just about like not allowing confusion to cloud your judgment or cloud, you know, your higher vision, and really staying in alignment with that, even though things might not be 100% clear right now. Just waiting for that clarity to come before you take the inspired action will help a lot. And with the South Node transit that I was talking about at the beginning, here, it's in gate 9 right now in human design, which is all about taking small steps towards our goal. So there's this analogy in this book I've read called Atomic Habits, where this book is talking about making small incremental changes that add up over time. And he gives an example of if you're a pilot flying a plane, and you make if you're flying from LA and you want to end up in New York, if you make a change that's a 1 degree difference in how you're flying, and I'm not a pilot yet, so I don't know the technical terms of this, so hopefully this is making sense to you guys. But if you make a 1 degree difference in your flight track, you can end up in like Florida versus New York. So it's all about, and I'm giving this example because it's all about making small changes right now and taking small steps. Again, I've been talking about taking small action, even though it might be scary, and giving more weight to that and your faith than your ego and the fears of your ego. And small steps are better than no steps. And there's also a saying in the Tao that is 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. And so that's kind of the energy of this week is how can you take small steps towards your goal, even though it might feel overwhelming, even though it might feel scary or uncomfortable. How can you take small steps and know that you're going to get yourself there and work yourself there over time? Because again, 1 step is better than no steps at all. If you don't take any steps, you're not going to get anywhere. But if you just take 1 step at a time, incrementally, you will get to where you're going, even though it might it might take a little bit more time. It's better than taking all the steps right now and then getting overwhelmed because they didn't lead to the results that you expected, and then not doing anything at all. And I feel in our culture, in our society right now, there's this big, especially with, I think technology has really built this. I mean, I could host a whole room about this, and we could talk about this in depth of instant gratification and how we've all kind of been conditioned to expect things to happen right away, because you can just, you can go into an app on your phone and order delivery to your door, depending on where you live. You can, just like buy things from Amazon and it will show up in 2 days or less. And it's like, yes, that's amazing. And it's like, wow, I'm so grateful I have those things exist in our world right now, but that's not always how things work in the actual physical world. Like when you set an intention for something to happen, it takes time to manifest. It takes time to actually come in and come to fruition. We live on the earth plane, which is a slower plane than all the other dimensions. So it's about trusting that, again, the small steps you're taking are leading you somewhere, even if you don't physically see the results in your reality, and really coming away from this instant gratification mindset of like, things have to happen right now or they're not happening at all. And that's just like not true. And I think it's such a cliche thing, because it's really taught us that if we don't see physical results instantly, then things aren't working in our favor. And it's completely false. And I feel like it's holding a lot of people back from really living in alignment with your soul and doing the things that you're really, feel called to do, because even just taking one step will lead you to where you're going, whether or not it's going to lead to instant results. I feel like I just went on a tangent there, but hopefully that resonated with some of you. So yeah, this week with the South Node and Gate 9, we're putting huge emphasis on changing our belief systems. And this has been a big theme since the South Node moved into Sagittarius. I believe it was mid last year. About May of last year, the South Node moved into Sagittarius. And ever since then, we've really been focusing on changing our belief systems, not letting conditioning or past experiences like run our show and hold us back from our destiny. It's really time to stay focused and intentional on our positive expansion, and really giving more weight to how we want to be expanded and how we want to create positive things in our life versus what we've just been conditioned to create, because we've been told that that's just how things are. And we're really learning to consciously create what we want and be the creator of our lives that we all are. We are all extensions of Source. We are all creators of our own lives. And so we're really stepping into now what that looks like and how we can really do that for ourselves and take action towards that. Later in the week, we'll have Mars and Mercury, the conjunction that I talked about a little bit ago, trining Uranus, which Uranus rules innovation. It rules change. And sometimes these changes can come suddenly and unexpectedly. And Uranus is in Taurus right now, so that's kind of slowed down. It will also be going retrograde this week. So we'll be shifting our focus of change and innovation inwardly and really asking ourselves, what do I need to change about myself? There's this quote, I think it's Einstein that is quoted saying this, is like, yesterday I was naive and thought I wanted to change the world. Today I know that I can only change myself. It might have been Aldous Huxley. I don't know. It doesn't matter who it is. But that quote is so like Uranus retrograde. It's like we really have to, before we can really truly take action, and yes, we're all capable of changing the world, but it has to start within, from within. And that's really the energy of this transit of Uranus going retrograde this week, is really, what do we need to change? Again, belief systems, South Node and Sagittarius. What do we need to change about our inner belief systems? What do we need to change about how we perceive our truth, to really like make those changes last and make changes that are kind of like we're planting seeds this week to really grow into our future vision. And we know you can't really expect a seed to grow overnight, so it's like, what intentions do you want to set right now that you can take, again, small steps towards changing in your life in order to align with your future vision. And this transit will also be teaching us how to find self-direction through innovation and embodiment. And embodiment not only of the things that we want to create, again, our future vision, but embodiment of patience and remembering that your genius is what is meant for you, and expressing your genius, expressing your innate gifts and what is meant for you through that will never leave you. It will always be with you, and it will always come to you when you, again, take action on the the callings of your soul and of your heart. This Uranus transit will be in gate 2 in human design, which is in the G center, which is the center that rules our identity. So these changes that we're making right now and these seeds that we're planting are really going to shape our identity and the way that we're viewing ourselves, the way that we're presenting ourselves, the way that we're showing up in the world. So this is a beautiful time to go inward and really focus on who you want to be and who you want to transform into, and the ways that you want to innovate your ways of being so that you do align with that higher vision that you have of yourself and the plans that you want to create here on earth during your time here. We also have Neptune in retrograde in Pisces right now, which is in gate 22, and it's at 22 degrees Pisces, and this gate 22 is in the solar plexus. So again, I talked about at the beginning, if you guys were in here for that, really feeling your emotions this week and allowing emotions to flow through you like water, and asking yourself, like, how can I be the gentle observer of these emotions and let them flow through me, and also use what they're teaching me in this transitory moment of what I can create from this experience. This transit is also teaching us to be more open and accepting of how things look. And I talked a little bit about like not giving a lot of weight to your physical reality and how things look, and really trusting your internal guidance system, trusting your intuition, trusting that the small steps that you're taking are leading you to where you need to be. And that is very also indicative of this transit of where Neptune is right now in Pisces. This is, really teaching us that energy is more important to give weight to than how things necessarily look on the outside. And we're really learning as a collective to read into the subtle energies of things and really trust the subtle energetics of what we see, and not giving as much weight to like how things look and what our eyes perceive things to be, but what it feels underneath that, underneath the surface. How does that feel? And what is the subtle energy that you feel underneath what your eyes are seeing, and really perceiving with your feeling center, with your solar plexus. Whether you have a defined or undefined solar plexus in human design, it doesn't really matter for knowing, or not knowing, but like tapping into your ability to be able to do this. So now I'm going to talk about the full moon. This full moon is really big, which I touched on a little bit, and I'll be doing a separate room on the full moon on Sunday. So if you want to come to that, I'll also be giving a little horoscope for each rising sign and astrology. So turn on your notifications for my profile. You can go to my bio and hit that little bell and hit always to be notified when I pop open rooms. And when I'll be talking about this more in depth, because there's so much to talk about this full moon. I don't have time for it tonight, but I'm just so excited because it's a really big one. So this full moon in Aquarius will be in gate 30 in human design, which is also in the solar plexus. We have a lot of energy in the solar plexus right now in human design, which is the solar plexus rules our emotions. It rules our ability to feel. And so we are coming into, and will be coming into this weekend through kind of this tension that I talked about going on this week. Through this tension, we'll really be coming into a lot of emotional clarity, and this will really cause a lot of innovation, major innovations in the way that we're making discipline changes that are rooted in our true destiny as opposed to egoic beliefs. And this is going to align us with our joy and our health. We also will have on the day of the full moon Saturn trining Venus and the North Node, which Saturn rules discipline. It's in Aquarius right now. And it rules our ability to commit and to stay disciplined and to own our inner authority. And it will be with trining, making this trine. The trine is a harmonious aspect between Venus and the North Node, which Venus rules love, money, and abundance, and the North Node rules our destiny. So we'll really be seeing like how our feelings are tied into directly our ability to create and manifest things to us in our life. Venus rules attraction, it rules manifestation. And so we'll really be seeing like how we need to be disciplined and what we need to be disciplined in order to really create what we want and really align ourselves with our destiny. We'll also be becoming more aware this weekend as the moon transits Aquarius of our feelings, and again becoming that gentle observer of our feelings and realizing that feelings are transitory, and it all passes and things pass, and just like the transits, they change every day, they change every minute. So really allowing yourself to not get caught up in what you're feeling and really see it from an outside perspective, and just allow it to like pass, and maybe even asking like, what does this have to teach me? What does this have to show me? And how can I use that information to, like Pisces energy, Neptune and Pisces right now, be creative and put this, what this is teaching me, put these emotions into a creative venture, into something that's really going to align me with my dreams. So yeah, this full moon in Aquarius this weekend will also be really asking us to look at how emotions and our relation to them may be leading us to or away from our joy and our abundance and our optimism. And so that is just a huge theme of this week. I feel like it all really like ties in together well. To summarize, this week is really about what are you creating, and how are you relating to your emotions, and how are you using the way that you perceive your emotions and relate to your emotions to create things in your life, and how can you really take small steps and incremental changes to create the change that you want, and really align yourself with your higher vision, your higher destiny, your purpose here, and your path that is presenting itself to you each and every day, and that your soul knows and your heart knows is yours. So how can you really give more weight to that? How can you start to take action towards that, no matter how small this action is? It's really important to do that this week, and this week is providing the perfect energy to be able to do that. So I'm really excited for this week, and excited to hear how it goes for you. Feel free to DM me and let me know, or tag me on your stories. Would love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions, yeah, so shoot me a DM. I'll respond to as many of you as I can. I also have a lot of information on my YouTube channel if you want to check that out and subscribe so that you get these updates and can learn more about your astrology and your human design as well, how to read your chart and all that great stuff. So thanks for being here, and until next time, I'm sending you so much love. See you again soon.